Hello, everyone, and welcome to Up to Bat. I'm your host, Rayna Maggelet, and today I'm joined alongside virtually 20-year-old University of Virginia Southpaw, Evan Blanco. Hi, Evan. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, of course. I'm doing great. I'm very excited for this. Jumping right into it, back in April 25th to be exact, UVA traveled to Boston College to participate in the ALS awareness game at no other than the historic Fenway Park. Now, mistake me if I'm wrong, but I'm fully expecting you to be a Sox fan, considering you're from over and grew up in Massachusetts. Walk me through your mind in what it was like stepping on that notorious field for the first time.
Yeah, it was a crazy experience. Honestly, it didn't hit me until I stepped on the mound to throw my warm-up pitches, but like even like walking through the tunnel before the game, like it didn't feel real. And then once I got on the mound for the first time, obviously a lot of familiar faces in the crowd.
Yeah.
It was such a cool experience with all my family there, friends, everyone cheering me on. So, and then just realizing how many great pitchers have stepped on that mound and even players have played on that field. It was awesome.
That's awesome. So we're both 2004 babies, and as we all know, 2004 was a huge year for the Sox, winning a World Series against the St. Louis Cardinals. Were there any Sox players that you looked up to as a kid, learning to play the sport of baseball, and even still today?
Yeah, when I was younger, I loved John Lester,
Oh,
another
yeah.
left-handed pitcher.
Mm,
And then more recently, obviously not a pitcher, but I loved watching Andrew Benintendi play.
yeah,
Hmm.
awesome. You gotta love them. Everyone there loves them.
Oh
Is
yeah,
your end goal to make it to the pro?
100%, no doubt.
Following with that question, if in an ideal world, if you could choose which franchise you play for in the MLB, what team would it be?
Probably the Red Sox. It would probably be a mistake to not say the Red Sox with how much history that franchise has been through and how much I've cheered for them in the
Yeah.
past 15,
Awesome
20.
answer. Awesome answer. Love that. Moving on, you had an outstanding high school baseball career. You went 21 and 0, amassed 216 strikeouts, posted a 58 ERA, and 134.2 innings pitched throughout your 4 years at Austin Prep and Reading. Talk me through your mental and physical growth that you had from freshman year compared to when you wrapped up your senior season.
Oh yeah, I was a totally different person from my freshman to senior year on the baseball field. Playing my freshman year, I was just a baby. Like I didn't really know the game as much as I did in my senior year. I was just kind of trying to be a sponge, as I like to say, just kind of absorbing as much information as I could, and then taking that along with me throughout the high school journey. And then development wise too, Austin Prep has been great for my development. I still keep in touch with my coach there daily. We're always checking in on each other, especially teammates too, just bouncing off ideas off each other. If one of us is struggling, I'll bounce off ideas off my friend. Um, yeah, just stuff like that. Definitely I was pushed in the weight room by my peers there. So physically I'm definitely a lot bigger, stronger, faster. And then the mental side of the game too. I'm still learning a lot of stuff now that I'm not even at Austin.
Speaking of your senior season, Austin Prep went 25 and 0 and won the Massachusetts State Championship back in 2022. What was the biggest takeaway you took with that successful season going into college?
That team didn't really take anything for granted. We worked really hard day in and day out. Obviously we knew that we were a very talented team being undefeated throughout the whole season, but we knew that we still had something to prove and we knew that each game wouldn't be taken lightly. And that's kind of the same mentality here at Virginia.
You were ranked the number one left-hand pitcher and number two overall player in the state of Massachusetts, according to Perfect Game. As an athlete, how did you maintain humbleness after those rankings?
I'd be lying if I said I didn't look at them, but I just
Yeah.
tried to kind of block that stuff out. And I feel like it's very easy to be humble because I always think that there is someone better, bigger, faster, stronger than me. Someone out there is always working to kind of come at my spot, or they're working to be better than me.
Who's your biggest role model for you currently, whether that's a teammate, a coach, a pro, current, or veteran? baseball player, who is that role model for you in your life right now?
Yeah, I definitely have to say one of my older cousins. I have two, I'd say. One of my older cousins, they've kind of been like a big, I never had a big brother growing up. I only have a bigger sister. And one of my older cousins, Jonathan, he's kind of been my big brother. He's been through the baseball process as well. He played all through college. So him being by my side throughout my whole baseball journey has been big. And then my other role model would have to be my coach at Austin Prep, Jonathan Pollard. He's been a big role model to me, always checking in on me, whether it's baseball, life, school, whatever it is. He's always been there for me.
Well, shout out to Jonathan. Jonathan squared right there.
I know.
So last summer you traveled back home to Massachusetts, inland specifically, to play on the North Shore Navigators of the New England Collegiate Baseball League. What was your experience like playing in the summer collegiate baseball league for the first time, as well as traveling back home to your home state the summer?
Yeah, it was a good experience. It was short-lived because I was only there for about 3 weeks.
Okay.
My UVA coaches just wanted me to get starting experience because I was coming off a season where I was only a reliever.
Mhm.
But I had a great time. It was kind of a more pro approach to baseball because we were playing 6 or 7 days a week. So we didn't have as many off days, but I loved every minute of it. I still talk to kids on that team. And although I was only there for 3 weeks, like I mentioned before, I built a lot of good relationships during that time.
Do you have plans to play in the summer league this upcoming summer, or what do you plans for the summer?
I'll be playing in the Cape Cod Baseball League with the Harwich Mariners.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
Mhm.
awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So obviously you play baseball for University of Virginia. Did you receive baseball offers from other universities? If so, which ones?
I did. So I was younger. I was a freshman when I was going through the recruiting process. At the time, I received offers from Duke, Northeastern, Rutgers, UConn, Virginia Tech, and then throughout the whole recruiting process, I was also talking to other ACC schools, a couple SEC schools, and a few local Northeast schools as well.
What was your process of elimination like when it came to narrowing down which school you want to go to? Did you have some type of criteria of what the school needed to have or what you were looking for, whether that's in the school itself or the athletic program?
Yeah, definitely. I'd say academically, I wanted to go to a high academic school, some place where I knew I would be challenged, but also taken good care of. A strong support staff academically in the baseball program. Like at the University of Virginia, we have an academic coordinator, and we always have access to tutors whenever we need them for whatever class it is. So that's been very big for me, and that was kind of what I looked for throughout the whole recruiting process. And then on the baseball side of things, I wanted to play very competitive baseball at the highest level, and that's definitely what I'm getting here.
Yeah. So it's no secret that every university athletic program have they're diverse in so many different ways. So talk to me about the bond with you and your teammates as well as coaches at UVA.
Oh yeah, we're all a tight knit group. I mean, the big thing about my team that I really enjoy is that there's no cliques or anything. Like we're really all one collective unit. Especially with the coaches too. They're very personal with us. And that's been big. You know, if I'm personal with a coach, that like we have undeniable trust in each other. And trusting those coaches with my development and how I'm going to grow as a baseball player and a young man, because I'm down here without parents or family all the time, although they
Yeah.
do a lot. But those are the guys with experience that I'm looking up to every day, and kind of going to for advice on and off the baseball field at times.
How has the mentorship at UVA and coaching styles there shaped you into the player you are today compared to 2 years ago when you started playing collegiate baseball?
It's been big. I mean, they're not holding my hand through things, obviously, as a 20-year-old. They've taught me to be very independent, whether that's in my personal life or even in my baseball development. Some things you just got to figure out on your own. And even that's on the coaching side of things. They've been a big help, but even players too. Like they've definitely helped me a lot, bouncing ideas off of each other, holding each other accountable. If I'm doing something I probably shouldn't, a player's going to let me know, and vice versa.
You've played baseball for a while, and summer collegiate, obviously, like you said, 6 to 7 games a week. That's insane. And year-round sport, always practicing. What keeps you motivated to continue this and I guess not get bored of the game of baseball and, hopes to one day make it pro? How do you stay motivated and not, in a sense, get bored of that game? Because you usually see that in patterns in other athletes sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there are definitely days where I do want to take the day off, but I know that I can't just because this is what I want. I do have dreams and aspirations of playing pro baseball.
Mm.
The thing that keeps me motivated is I think back to the 6 or 7-year-old version of Evan, playing baseball in the backyard, throwing a tennis ball off the wall, just stuff like that. That's what I think of to keep me motivated.
That's awesome. Now, wrapping up my final question here, toot your own horn here. Why don't you? What would you say your strengths are as a pitcher and as a baseball player as a whole that makes you stand out compared to whether that's just your team or in the room?
Yeah, I'd say my demeanor on the mound is um, very strong. I
Yeah.
mean, I like to keep my emotions to myself. I don't wear my heart on my sleeve. I don't come off the mound screaming. I don't try to throw a fit or anything, stuff like that. So I'd say keeping a poker face on the mound, letting everyone know that things aren't getting to me or that like this is just the tip of the iceberg if I'm doing well.
Yeah.
And then I'd say from a like performance standpoint, I would say definitely my pitchability. I mean, and that kind of started when I came to college. In
Yeah.
high school, I was only throwing one pitch, maybe a curveball, mixing that in. But now I'm throwing fastball, slider, curveball, changeup, and I'm comfortable throwing that in any count at all.
Yeah. There you go. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I had a great time talking with you and hearing more about you and your story. But yeah, thank you again so much.
Yeah, of course. Thank you very much for having me. It was a great
Yeah.
time.
Well, thank you all for tuning in to this episode of Up to Bat with Evan Blanco. I'm Rayna Maggelet. Bye. I could hear the accent throughout the